Hi, I'm Kristen Lawrenson. I'm going to talk a little bit about my philosophy of art education. To me, a philosophy of art education is kind of a backpack that teachers walk in the classroom with. It's a database of their beliefs about teaching, general beliefs about the teacher's role for the student, as well as their beliefs about learning. Now, I started thinking about what my philosophy of art education is, and I've definitely, like most people here, I think, I definitely have more experiences in learning. I just recently graduated college a few months ago, and so I really thought an interesting way to kind of show you and examine my own philosophy of art education first is a little sneak through my room and look at some old artifacts that I used to have and I still obviously own. So let's take a look at my room. You ready? So it's no surprise, I love my journals. I kept a diary almost every day. I have so many different entries and I just love going back and looking at them just for fun. Something else that I really like are sketchbooks of famous artists and other creative individuals. This is a bunch of illustrations and sort of behind the scenes engineering of artwork. It's kind of cool because it's the artwork that isn't meant to be shown. It's kind of the progress in the mind of creative individuals, and I'm really interested in all of that. I think progress is almost as interesting as the final product, sometimes more interesting. I'm going to show you something I worked on in high school. I was really into woodcut prints, and here are two prints that I made, but the one on the other side is of my bedpost. And I keep a lot of old tobacco boxes because my grandpa used to work for a tobacco company, and when he died I got a lot of the boxes. I keep everything. As you can tell, my room's a mess, but I have kept paper dolls my parents gave me, old letters and pictures, and I really like just having them to look back upon. I'm really glad that I kept them, even if I am, kind of a junk person. Sometimes I get new ideas when I read through old stuff that I've kept. And, I really like them. That's me and my cousin. And also, here is a picture that I took for one of my art classes of my bedstand. I was really inspired by the design of that, and I ended up doing a whole series of pieces. You saw the woodcut that I did. I also did a series of little oil paintings on canvases where I kind of imagined the background of my bedstand. I kind of pretended that the windows were open and nature was coming on through. I'll show you another one. There's 4 pieces, but I gave 2 of them to my parents. Here's another one with nature infiltrating through my room. And I also wanted to show you a little bit of what I did in college. I painted on the surface of light bulbs. I did a project called Switching Stories, which is about an individual's experience, and this was a fun project for me to do. I painted on these light bulbs, I also painted on the surface of light switch plates. So here are some of those. We can just take a look.
Dreams, faded maps and shiny things. You're my favorite one-man show. A million different ways to go. Will you fly
in my diary from 1995, I believe, I included a little illustration of me sitting at my desk, looking out the window, and there's a bubble above my head that said summer. And the teacher was standing right beside me like this, you know, looking down on me and frowning at me. And I'm sure this is because I got in trouble a lot for daydreaming when I was little. So I was definitely a daydreamer student, and I have to naturally equip myself as a MAT candidate to deal with other daydreamers. I think that I really will have patience for kids like that. I realized I was probably hard for teachers to deal with. Another thing in my room, I showed a little bit of my old artwork because something that I did as an art student is teachers encouraged me to stick to a theme and to develop and go from that theme. In high school, one of the themes I had was my bedpost, the Victorian-looking white ceramic bedpost. I took an image of that and I created oil paintings, chalk pastel paint, pieces of work, and even a print. And in college, I took my thesis was called Switching Stories, and I did everything about the complexity of a human being. Keep a sketchbook that, draw things you see, draw things around you, draw things that you imagine. 2, keep a journal and mark down your, what you're thinking, your state of mind. If you're feeling really emotional, write it down about it, and then years later, like me, I go back and I can read and kind of be transported back to a state of mind that I was in. And the idea that our words and our illustrations have the power to transport us through time is just incredible. So that's something I want my students to experience in the classroom. Now, I want to encourage, taking one idea and building off of it, doing it in different mediums, imagining things altered with it. But I think choosing an icon or choosing an idea is really important as young artists. I really did learn a lot this summer. I went into the program having the fresh idea, maybe teaching art is what I really want to do, because right before I graduated college, I volunteered for the first time inside of a classroom, and I loved it. I think the moment where I decided that I really wanted to be an art teacher was on Valentine's Day, and I was working with the kindergartners, and the kids came up to me and gave me Valentine's, and it really, really touched me. And it was kind of like an epiphany. Everything was just like, this is what I want to do. I want to, think of ideas for these kids, open their eyes, give them ideas of how to look at things differently. And this summer has really given me experience to look back and reflect on my own teachers, which I hadn't thought about before, my own experiences in the classroom, and it's really helped me develop a tentative philosophy of teaching. I know it's going to change once I get into the classroom, but so far from field experience, I have had to deal with some daydreamers who kind of remind me of myself. So I'm going to enter the classroom, with really a urgency to encourage students to document the process, to capture a state of mind that they can look back upon. I want to introduce new artists to the students and try to set them in a state of mind where they get curious, because curiosity really is the most important thing for kids, and kids really inspire me, and I really want to open new doors for them and keep art in the schools and keep them looking at things in their own way, because it's always refreshing to see a new perspective of the world. It's enlightening. So far that's my philosophy of education. I know it's probably going to change, but I really have had a great experience so far, and I can't wait to get out into the real world and start teaching. I'm excited. So thank you very much.